If you did okay with yesterday's homework, finding the part, today you should be just fine finding the base, as long as you understand what you're looking for. Thank you. Finding the base. Now we're just looking for the B instead of the P. Okay, same stuff. You just have to understand. That's the hard part. The math isn't hard. It's actually interpreting information that you're given that's the most difficult. Okay? It's interpreting your information that is more difficult than actually the math. Basically, you just divide or multiply one time, usually. It's trying to figure out what numbers you use to divide and what numbers you use to multiply. That's the hard part. Which one's the B, which one's the P, which one's the R. But once you figure out which one's which, then it's not too bad. Okay? Let's do an easier example. Remember, is and of. What does is mean? Equals. What does that mean? Okay, so if I have 5% of blank is 63. Okay? The first half of your problems, just like yesterday, are going to be just like that. Okay? Just interpret it as 5% of means times B, because I'm looking for the B. The main thing is 63. Then divide both sides by 5%, or 0.05. Same thing. Since nobody can do it fast enough, I'll just get my own calculator out. 63. 63. There we go. 63. 63, there we go, divided by 0.05. Oh, that didn't work. What is going on? That's obviously not right.
12, 6, 1,000,
What? 63 divided by 0.05? Why did it do that? This is irritating. Okay, so forget that thing.
720.
I was going to say, that's really high. 720? So B is 720. Okay? Not too difficult. Okay, the first half of your homework is going to look like that. Should be done in no time if you understand what is and of mean. Okay? And that you're looking for the B. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Alright? Union Hospital finds that 25% of its employees are men and 720 are women. Find the total number of employees. Now, what most of you would do is this. P equals B times R. Okay, well my R is 720. Okay, I don't know my B or my R. My P is 720, my R is 25%. You divide and you get an answer and it would be wrong. Why would it be wrong? Why would your answer be wrong? Total number what? I'm looking for total number of employees, but if I have a part, okay, and I have a rate, I should be able to find the B, right? Add what?
Here, result of dividing 25% by 20.
No, because if 720, okay, are women, if I take that whole and multiply the percent that are women, I'm going to get 720. This will give me the total number. Remember, this is your whole. What is wrong with this? What does 25% stand for here? What?
1/4.
Right, it's 1/4.
For men.
It's for men. 25% are men. What does 720 stand for?
Girls.
Can you multiply a whole number times the percent that are men and get the number that are women? No, you can't do it. So what do I got to do here? Help me out. I got two different things going on here. No? That's what you're thinking. Okay, here, maybe this will help you. If this is the number of employees at Union Hospital, okay, here's my whole. And I say, okay, you know what? 25% are men. And over here, 720 of them are women. Help me out.
We multiply
75.
25 times 7.
What?
75%.
Right. What percentage are women? How'd you find that?
It's 75 and 25 is 100%.
Yeah. You're not going to have like a percentage of dogs, right? I mean, you're going to have people. You either have a man or a woman, usually.
So
Okay? So you're going to have 100%. If this men is 25%, women has to be 75%. Okay? So what goes here instead of 25%? Right. Because you want this has to be 75% because you want these two to match up. This has to say women, and that has to be women. Okay? And now I can solve and find the total number of employees. I divide by 75% or 0.75. What? How many employees do they have? One calculator. People. 960? So does that make sense? If 960 total employees, 720 are women, which is 75% of the workforce. Does that make sense in your head? Does it?
And 40
Yeah.
are men.
Yeah. So then the rest would be men. So 960 employees is how many they have. Yeah, if you wanted to find out how many men they had, you could either subtract or you could just multiply 960 by 25%. Either way. Okay, now let's look at another one. I'm sorry if you can't read this. I copied and pasted it, and so I can't make it bigger. But 120 students attend a play in the school theater. If this figure represents 32% of the total school enrollment, how many students are enrolled at the school? Okay, now remember, I don't know how many students are enrolled, which is the total number, which is the B. B always stands for that total. Okay, but I do have a part I do in a percentage. The problem is, my percentage, am I using 32 or am I using 68? I have a 68, I have a 32. Which one is it? 68? Remember, the part has to match up with the rate. The part is 120, okay, because that's a portion of how many students attend. 120 attend the school play, okay? My rate is what we're confused about here. Is it 100 minus 32, which is 68, or is it 32? Remember, if this is the number of students that attended the school play, this percentage has to be the percentage of students that attended the school play. So would it be 32 or 68? 32. Okay, that's what I wanted you to look for. This one, you could just plug in your percentage and you plug in your part and go, but I want you to pay attention to what you're putting in. Okay, is it correct? Are they matching up? 32% attended school play, 120 attended school play, they match up, we're good, go. So you divide by 32%. What do you get, Louis?
375.
375? Thanks, Alexa. 375 students. So your answer would be 375. Make sure you label it because some of you missed a point on your test because you don't label. Alright, let's do one more. This one's good for you guys. You need to do it anyway. You need to know this stuff. It's probably true. Okay, let's read this one. The National Cancer Institute estimates that 87% of all deaths due to lung cancers are caused by smoking. Assume that 1.1 million people who have developed lung cancer from smoking died from cancer. Find the number who died of lung cancer from all causes. Round to the nearest tenth of a million. Smoking. Lung cancer. Death. 1.1 million people. Now I have to determine what information goes where, because there's a lot of words. Okay, so I'm looking for the number who died of lung cancer from all causes. So basically,
P is 1.1.
you think P is 1.1? Yeah.
Yes.
Start with P. We're going to go P equals B times R. So P is 1.1 million. Okay. Do I know my base or the total number of people who died from lung cancer?
Yeah.
From all causes? No. Other people died from other causes, but 87% is, do I use that?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I use the opposite, which would be 13%? 87. Because 1.1 died from smoking, 87% died from smoking. They match up. So I'm putting my 87% here. Divide by 87%. What do you get, Lloyd? Or Alexis? Whoever actually plugged it in. 1.1 divided by 0.87.
28 points.
Just put 1.1 divided by 0.87. What'd you get? 1.27 or 1.3. We'll just say 1.3 million. Okay, so we have 1.3 million died from lung cancer. So think about that. Out of those 1.3 million, how many die from smoking?
Well, we multiply by
How many died from smoking? 1.1 million people died from smoking. That's a lot of people dying from smoking. Think about it before you smoke it. All right, any questions? What make you think of this class about smoking, about all that good stuff? About what's good for you.